Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where today we're going to be taking a look at another mock draft Monday. The first mock draft we're doing after the Super Bowl with the Chiefs beating the 49ers in the Super Bowl again in 2024 as it did in 2020. So I want to see some interesting information. It's also the first PFF mock draft we're doing after the Senior Bowl. So a lot of guys are going to be different here. I'm pretty much going to stick with PFF for the remainder of my mock drafts and stick with the 3-round free version just because of I didn't like the other version as much as I thought I would, and it's just a lot easier here. And also, if you can see here, is a new setup right now as I moved into a new apartment over the weekend on Saturday. So things are going to be switched up here. I'm trying to figure out the best way to set things up for the time being, but I still want to get out content for you guys as well. And also, thank you guys so much for the past 2 mock draft videos. Great responses, great conversations with all y'all. A lot of recommendations for the last one, increasing the volume on the mic. I have done that, and I'll go through and post-edit as well to try to make sure it is as loud as I think it should be as well. But then again, thank you guys so much for the support. Up to 50 subscribers now. Got like 17 of them in the past 2 weeks. So thank you all so much. So let's go ahead and get started here. Kind of trying to decide what speed I want it. I want to go there. So Packers here at 25. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and enter the draft here. No trades at all because I'm not paying $25 a month for PFF. I might see if I can do a free trial later, but not really there. So let's go and get started and hit start draft. So Caleb Williams, Drake May. Okay, it's going fast. It is going fast. Okay, so let's take a look up here and see what the draft has been so far. We got Caleb Williams, number 1 to the Bears, then Drake May, then 3 receivers. We got Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Nate Wiggins, Jaden Daniels, Drazon Newton, Brock Bowers, Olamuia Fashino, Cooper DeJean, Dallas Turner, Latu Latu, Talisa Fuaga, Jared Verse, Terrion Arnold, J.C. Latham, Michael Penix Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., Amarius Mims, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and 2 guys I really would want on this team, and Quinion Mitchell to the Texans and Jackson Power Johnson to the Cowboys right before us. Can't do any trades myself here, so let's take a look here. So we got Bo Nix. We are not taking a quarterback in this draft. That's just not happening. And so there's an edge rusher in Braylon Trice that could be interesting. Depth for edge is kind of a need, but not one of my needs here. Receiver either. One guy I really would like is Ennis Rackstraw Jr. He is a very interesting quarterback. First look, he's 6 foot, 188 pounds, so not really a big body corner. Mostly lined up on the outside in college with Mizzou. And 9 games played, 465 defensive snaps, on 28 targets, gave it 18 receptions, 197 yards, and 1 touchdown. A 96.9 passer rating again, so kind of more a developmental guy. And so one thing that is worrisome about him, he did have an ankle surgery in the offseason, so that could hurt his draft stock a bit. But so he's a prospect we can go to as well. And another guy potentially too is we got Jordan Morgan here, a tackle out of Arizona, who's one of the best tackles in this class. Exclusively a left tackle in college. 6'6", 320 pounds, big guy. I don't think the Packers are going to take a tackle in the first round because I think they're pretty confident in Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom on the outside. And that's even without knowing the future of David Bakhtiari as well. So Morgan could be interesting here. Another interesting pick could be Byron Murphy, a big run-stuffing defensive lineman. 14 games played, 6 sacks as well, mostly in the interior. He's 6'1", 308 pounds, but I really do think, especially with the new defensive coordinator being a DB guy, the first round pick is going to be a defensive back. And so right now on the board, I would expect if the board kind of went over, like the Packers would try to trade up to 20 or 21 to get either Quinion Mitchell. I think it would be a really good pick here. Or someone like Terrion Arnold they might move up to. But in this draft where we're doing no trades because I can't, we'll go with Ennis Rackstraw Jr., cornerback out of Missouri. I think it'd be a very good prospect for the Packers to get as well. So, of course. All right. Now we get into a very interesting discussion here, because even though I think offensive line would be an interesting selection, I do think we want an offensive lineman higher in like second or third round to be on an interior, because I think interior, especially depth along the interior, is going to be a big need for Packers. With guys like John Runyon, most likely not going to be back. Josh Myers not really being the greatest prospect. Don't really have a backup center either. Royce Newman is going to be gone, and we're sticking with Sean Ryan, who we don't really know what he is like. One guy I've been seeing get a lot of interesting looks at potentially be moving over to guard is Troy Fontenot. 6'4", 317, so not really the size you're looking for at a tackle, even though he played tackle in college, so most likely be moved in as a guard. Really, really good tackle in college. And the things of the Packers love versatility. Like, he plays some left guard in 2022 and 2021 as well. And so I do think that he could be a pick for the Packers here as the board falls like this. There's Adonai Mitchell, a good wide receiver. I really don't think the Packers are going to go for a receiver in the second round. There's Zach Frazier, a center out of West Virginia, who could be interesting as well. 6'3", 310. Exclusively a center. Could be a guy to take to bring in to compete with Josh Myers. And then there's a couple other tackles here, receivers as well. But I really think here as well, especially because the Packers have pick 57. They might be able to get a safety there. But I think going with Troy Fontenot and moving him to like right guard, I think would be fantastic here for the Packers. So going to go with Troy Fontenot, tackle out of Washington. And I'm just hoping that a safety falls to us. Nope. Okay, so now we're back here at 57. Both Cameron Kitchens and Tyler Nubin went in 47-52 ahead of our second round pick. I was really hoping one of them would fall to us at 57, but that was not the case. And so here is a question here, because there's a couple players that are interesting here. Some of them will be a reach as well. I don't really think the Packers will go for Kalen Bullock here at the end of the second round, when there's a couple other guys here. Running back is really neat. Jonathan Brooks is considered one of the best in the class. He did have surgery in the offseason, which is concerning, especially for a running back. But he's a young guy, only a sophomore coming out. Really productive in Texas. He had over 1,100 yards rushing, 10 rushing touchdowns, 25 receptions on 29 targets, so he could do some receiving out of the backfield. I do think running back is a need for the Packers, considering that we don't know what A.J. Dillon's going to do. Aaron Jones is most likely going to be brought back, but he's getting up there in age as well. We need a guy to kind of learn and take some steps back. Jonathan Brooks could be interesting with this, but I think the Packers try to go with third or fourth round running back, because you can get great value running back later on in the draft. And there's Braden Fisk, a interior defensive lineman from Florida State. 6 sacks, 3 hits, 19 hurries on 444 defensive snaps, 363 pass rush snaps, so a lot of B gap there as well. Looks like he moved inside from being outside tackle rush in 2022, moved inside in 2023. Could be an interesting player. Don't really know if we need one, because I think our line is pretty solid as it is right now. Always needs improvement though. So, and then there's a linebacker too. I think will be a big need, because I don't think Devondre Campbell is going to be back on this team. And even though Quay Walker and Isaiah McDuffie could be a decent combo, I think you want to maybe improve on the position group as well. Edgerrin Cooper here, 6'3", 230-pound junior out of Texas A&M, one of the best linebackers in this class. Had 609 defensive snaps, 58 tackles, 17 assisted tackles. Did have 11 missed tackles as well. A lot of box here as well. Could be an interesting pick at linebacker, which I think is going to be a need for the Packers upcoming to the draft. And then Devondre Sweat as well. Another interior defensive lineman. This guy is a big dude. 6'4", 262-pound beast of a man. 503 defensive snaps, 309 pass rush snaps, 2 sacks, 3 hurries. A lot of B gap there as well. So he could be a very interesting pick too. So there's a lot of guys here. I mean, I'm personally in between Cooper and Sweat, and I think linebackers you can get good value later on. D lineman is a little bit harder, and I think even though TJ Slayton is doing pretty good, you can't go wrong with another big body defensive lineman. So I'm gonna go here with Devondre Sweat out of Texas here as a big dude because he's a monster. There's a lot of these picks I think that the Packers would try to trade out of if the board fell like that. So now we get to pick 88. Now, yes, so don't really see any safeties here that the Packers should take. Because safety is another thing we can get in the, not going to be taking any safety here. That would be like a 4th or 5th round selection based on how this board fell. So looking here at Peyton Wilson, a linebacker out of NC State. Because we passed up on linebacker earlier in the draft by taking Sweat. This guy had 92 tackles at NC State, only 6 missed tackles. A lot of box play here. 6'4", 238 pounds. I think he could be a very good linebacker here for the Packers because I think we need depth there as well. Because if either Quay Walker or McDuffie gets hurt with the expectation that Campbell is going to be cut, there's not much there. There's Eric Wilson, and that's basically it as an inside linebacker. And I think getting one here in the 3rd round, Peyton Wilson, is going to be a really good pick. So let's go ahead here, Peyton Wilson, linebacker out of North Carolina State. Now we're back up here at 91. And here I am going to go with running back because, let's see here. We haven't picked a running back yet. Because I do think the Packers will take a running back in this year's draft. Probably 3rd or 4th rounder because I think A.J. Dillon is most likely not going to be re-signed unless it's on a 1-year cheap deal. And if we don't sign him, we need another running back because we got Emmanuel Wilson and Patrick Taylor after that. And that doesn't really inspire confidence. And so right here, a guy who just won a national championship with Michigan is Blake Corum. A lot of attempts in college, but past 2 years, over 1,200 yards both years, double-digit touchdowns, 27 in 2023 for Michigan, 5'8", 213 pounds. Bit of an older prospect, but he's proven he can get done in the Big Ten, which is a tougher for running. And so I'm going to go here with Blake Corum, running back out of Michigan. I think it'll be a very good selection for the Packers because he's small, compact, really muscly. So I think that's good. And so this is our 3-round mock draft. I'm not paying for PFF Plus. It's $25 a month. It was $10 a month. I would have done it. So we got first round. I'm going to pick up corner and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. The couple corners I would want it went ahead of the Packers. Especially I want Quinion Mitchell. If the Packers get Quinion Mitchell, that would be great. Round 2, we got beefed up the lines. We got Troy Fontenot at 35, tackle out of Washington. Most likely be moved to a guard, which I do think is an area of need for the Packers. Second round, we got Devondre Sweat, a big hulking defensive lineman out of Texas. I think will be a great fit in the run game along with TJ Slayton. Then third round, I think we really hit it really good with Peyton Wilson, a linebacker out of NC State, and halfback Blake Corum out of Michigan. Kind of be some backups for their first year, learn and be good later on. The one thing that didn't fall the right way and I wanted to was safety. That's a little bit rough because we can't go back in the safety room that we had this year. I expect the Packers to be active in free agency with safeties. It's been hinted at by Brian Gutekunst that we're going to be active in free agency this year. I imagine safety is one of those needs, but wasn't able to get the safeties I wanted at the spots today. I had picks, so that's why I didn't go safety there. But overall, I think this is a very solid mock draft, not the greatest. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. You guys have been very active in discussion here, and I appreciate it. So, yeah, I think that is very good, and I'll see you again very soon. I'm going to be making a video here shortly about what I think the top 5 draft needs for the Packers are, and then baseball season starting here with the Milwaukee Brewers. Going to get in that coverage as well. And if you like listening to my dumb brain talk about sports, please subscribe to the channel. It's been wonderful seeing the growth going on recently, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace.